to Hero Spotlight, the segment where we unmask our featured IT entrepreneurs and heroes and find out a bit more about them. Today we've got Henk from Skyro, we've got Vincent and Nick from the co-founders of Botribe, we've got Barbara from the founder of Ubami, and we've got Bevan from WeWallet. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Henk, I'll start with you. I mean, you've had a really novel idea when you started up Skyro, but it had relatively humble beginnings. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the idea of Skyro was to use Wi-Fi and enable anybody to share internet with their neighbors and their housemates and the like using Wi-Fi at a time when ADSL was very expensive. And that had the idea probably about 8 years ago, and then started the business 6 years ago when I graduated. Had no money to start with, so I rented a fairly rundown house in Observatory with 5 bedrooms and sublet 4 of them. And I had just gotten married, and my wife and I lived in one of the bedrooms, and we used the attic as the office. So yeah, now we've actually got real office space, and about 700 hotspots around the country where anybody can connect with any Wi-Fi device.
I mean, of course, it's important to obviously put in the hard work and the hours, but how pivotal is it to have a good idea?
I think good ideas are great in that a good idea can really inspire you to get going. But at the end of the day, it really is the 1% inspiration, and what makes it work is the perspiration.
Bevan, I'll just jump to you quickly. We hear that you've had a little folder where you keep all your good ideas in since you were a kid. Do you still have that folder, or?
Yeah, well, the folder's now a folder on my desktop, but yeah, I've definitely got that folder. I'm not sure that they're all good ideas. I think they're just ideas, and it's important to always come up with new, fresh sort of ideas and insights. And I think all of us ideas people. That's how we start with something. But as Henk mentioned, that the idea is just the seed, but the difficult part is actually getting it going.
I mean, the idea that you founded your company on was based on this idea of making the wallet kind of obsolete. How far do you think that can go? How far into the digital realm are we kind of driving ourselves?
I think there's a good case in point. We started with the idea that we would kind of put the entire wallet onto a mobile phone, and as we progressed, we had to continually evolve what we were doing in the business. And so now we're a business where instead of us building a single app, we're actually kind of just enabling a whole lot of different mobile wallets. So we're kind of an underground company at the moment, really. We enable a lot of what you see in the mobile payment space. So we're sort of behind the scenes. So it just shows how, over time, you can evolve and change your business model to suit what the market requires.
Barbara, I mean, we're speaking about ideas and things that kind of change the game, and I mean, the term that comes to mind all the time, and the company that comes to mind is Facebook all the time. You've got a social networking site as well, but it's not just a Facebook for schools, is it? What does it do?
No, I mean, that's the easiest way to sum it up, really. It's just, paint a clear picture of Ubami being a Facebook for schools, but it really is so much more than that. It's not a social networking site for social purposes. It can be, but it goes further than that, and it actually, taking on the environment of the school and applying that digitally. And so we're coming up with social learning, and it's really just to reflect those communities that we find within schools, using the tools that we find on social networking sites. So it's really taking the idea of Facebook and applying it to a more niche market, so to say. So yeah, again, evolving the idea of it.
And what's it like kind of owning your own company and running it yourself?
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, but as cool as it is, at the same time, there are a lot of responsibilities that come with that, and there are challenges. So it really is a roller coaster ride of emotions. I mean, every entrepreneur will tell you that, and it's true. One day you can have the best day of your life, and then the next day you can be feeling pretty low. But you take, you roll with the punches, and I think it's, at the end of the day, all of us sitting here, we all sort of have the same drive to see our ideas come to fruition, and that's what makes the entrepreneur, I suppose, is being able to apply that to the idea that they come up with.
Okay. Vincent and Nick, I mean, you guys run your own company as well, but you don't see it as a kind of typical corporate environment. You even call yourself ninjas instead of kind of CEO or CFO and that kind of thing. You want to explain that a bit?
Can't you see the ninja bug?
If you're a ninja, I wouldn't know it.
You got to address questions just individually.
Okay,
yeah.
So,
Nick.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. Yeah, so we both worked quite extensively in corporates, and I personally absolutely hate the environment. It's not one that is conducive to thinking out of the box to experimenting with ideas and to promoting any sort of entrepreneurial endeavors. There's a lot of people, especially in South Africa, who say, I work as an entrepreneur inside a corporate branch. That's a big fat lie. You either are in a corporate or you're not. So we decided not to be, and started Mo Tribe about 9 months ago, and run the company we see fit and do things differently.
So Nick, you also kind of can best probably be described as a serial blogger. You blog for more than 2 hours a day.
I used to. Wow. I wish I still did. But no, my priorities have significantly changed. Running a company, that is all I do. It's what we live and breathe. It's what I live and breathe. Literally 6 in the morning when I wake up to 1 in the morning when I go to bed. That's all I do is Mo Tribe. Blogging has taken a severe back seat.
Vincent, I'm just going to move on to you. In explaining this idea of Mo Tribe bringing together kind of online communities, how kind of pivotal or important is it for everyone to have this online presence and kind of congregate and mass together?
I would say it's important if you need it and there's no space that you can go into that's really private. I think the idea of a private social network for a core group of people who share a common interest is something that could potentially empower the entire group, help them to bond, meet other people in similar circumstances. And it's a sort of growing global trend that people are, they'll have their generic social network that might be Facebook or Hi5 and so on, but then they'll step out into these private spaces.
Okay. And speaking of empowering people, I think your idea has literally given entrepreneurs on the ground an ability to make money from hotspot zones. When we speak about entrepreneurship, it's always about helping others. I mean, and you've basically done that. How important is it for the development of IT in the Western Cape specifically to help others through your own work?
So I've sort of got controversial ideas on it. First of all, I think it's very important when we try to help people that we should help people who need a little bit of help. Meaning they've already got the ambition and the background and the desire to succeed. And that maybe by giving a little bit of help, it's that one crucial thing that takes them to the next step. The big thing with Skyrove was to say anybody can make some money out of this, anybody could become an entrepreneur, and several people did do so. But I also found that, my business idea wasn't as much as a no-brainer to other people as it was to me. There's always education involved, there's always training involved, and there's a lot of things that don't come easy that you think would. And I think what the main thing to do is to react to that. So when you see something, when you get the feedback from people, respond to that and change your business model if you have to. Don't get too stuck in doing it in one way.
Okay, cool. It's not a bit of the lighter stuff. Vincent, you've got very interesting taste in music. Can you tell us what you listen to?
Where do you guys get your information?
Yeah, so I only listen to German and Italian techno, and specifically like 3 DJs, and only live recordings from clubs in Germany. But within that, there's a lot of nuance and variety.
Okay. I see Bevan just laughing on the end there, but Bevan, you play the trumpet, don't you? It's not a euphemism or metaphor.
Jeez, you picked a good one. I used to play in high school. Got that a long time ago though.
Nick, what are you listening to at the moment?
The Foo Fighters, obsessively. Vincent and I were at South by Southwest this year, and they played, so we saw them live. Like one of the bands I wanted to see forever, and their new album's just come out. It is ridiculously impressive. It's brilliant. Yeah, get it.
Barbara, you were named as one of the Mail and Guardian's 200 young South Africans that you have to take to lunch. Where do you like eating out?
Oh, anywhere. I just moved to Cape Town recently, so still finding my way around Sea Point, trying to find some good spots there, quite a few, Postachino. But yeah, I'm not fussy. Wherever, I'll be very happy to eat anywhere.
Hank, what's your kind of comfort food?
Probably like location, Arnold's and Cliff, one of my favorite spots. comfort foods, bread and cheese, pizza. Yeah.
The usual stuff.
Yeah.
Okay guys, we're going to move on to the quickfire section where we ask you guys a few questions, superhero related, because you guys are our IT entrepreneur heroes. Hank, we'll start with you. What superpower would you have if you were a superhero and why?
Probably just X-ray vision.
Disappearing people.
Disappearing people.
Yeah, like
Making people
Maybe
disappear.
Oh, right.
Nick, what about you?
Definitely teleportation. Yeah, sorry.
Barbara, what about you?
Okay, well, next on mine. I think on the spot, my superhero power would be to be invisible, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Bevan?
A serious one and a non-serious one. The serious one would be to be knowledgeable, all knowledgeable. That'd be pretty cool. And the fun one, I think, to be able to fly. Come on. That's good.
What would you describe as your kryptonite and why?
Kryptonite, I'd have to say, is administration.
Not having copy is a huge kryptonite for me. Need my copy.
Trying to do too much and achieve too much. Like someone said to me earlier today, they knew an entrepreneur who was picking up the colour of his Ferrari before he had his first client. That sort of syndrome, I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. So that's one of the things I struggle with.
second guessing myself.
Chicory. Bad coffee. Sorry.
Brown water.
So I'm guessing the answer to the next question, who's your sidekick or what's your sidekick, would be coffee as well?
Wikipedia, probably. I'd like to argue. So, yeah.
My sidekick, I think, is my family. You know, it's where I go after work to sort of chill out and recharge my battery.
Such a tough one. I was going to say my invisible friend Pete, but that doesn't really apply. So I'm going to say Google Mobile, and specifically mobile. Like that has definitely changed the way I do a lot of stuff.
I've got a couple of sidekicks. Firstly, my husband, who's recently started to work with me, so couldn't do it without him. And then just like kids, the kids on the Barbie, they're awesome. And they tell their friends to get their friends' schools on a Barbie, and they send us great little messages and say, this is so cool, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, they're definitely sort of the motivators that keep us going.
My sidekick, one is also my iPhone, like mobile, I do everything on it. But more importantly is my business partner. Also, I wouldn't have been able to start the business without the team and without him. And so I think that I bounce ideas with him all the time, every day. So he's definitely my sidekick.
Okay, and for the final question, guys, we want to know if you were a superhero and you were donning a complete costume, would you wear your underpants on the outside or the inside?
It depends on the color.
Okay. Haven't heard that one before. Vincent?
I'd wear mine on the outside because I think if you wear them on the inside, you're a bit closer.
But what if they're white?
Whatever, man.
I would say on the outside, but I would do the whole hog. I'd go like Superman socks that are red, underwear that's red, the cape that's red. If you're going to do it, do it properly, right?
Socks for the camera.
Yeah, well, exactly. I really love the weird socks. So.
If you can just show the other foot as well,
Sure.
the socks don't match.
Who wears matching socks anymore, honestly?
Who wears
It's-
socks?
Who wears socks?
Like I'd love to wear them on the outside, but I think some...
The socks.
Yeah, my socks. No, my underwear. But I think some teachers and principals might be, think I'm a bit weird.
Bevan, what about you?
I think the commander also I think that'll be good, especially if I'm flying.
You need the space.
So once again, we'd just like to thank all our IT heroes for coming in and speaking to us and taking time off their busy schedules. If you'd like to read a bit more about our IT entrepreneurs for this week, click on the link below or look at the featured entrepreneurs page on the IT Heroes and Pioneers portal. Once again, thank you to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.